Today I've got some fragrances from Zara, a very interesting clothing company that also sells some pretty high quality fragrances at really great prices. The problem with Zara is unless you live near a storefront, you're probably going to pay up online. I know they do have some of them on their website, which I've never ordered from, but just the experience of being able to go into a store and actually test these out was very cool. So what I actually did is I vlogged a little bit as I'm going in and checking everything out. So I'm going to put some clips of actually being there in this video, and I'm going to review for you 3 of them that I am very, very impressed with. I didn't actually know that Zara had a couple of these fragrances, which are great alternatives to much more expensive, I would say 4 times more expensive or more designer fragrances. So we're going to get into this list of Zara fragrances. Before we do, remember to give a click to the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this every couple days. And let me know in the comments, have you tried anything from Zara and what do you think? Have you found it to be a clone, an original? What do you think of the quality? Let's go ahead and begin. So I went to Zara looking for a couple fragrances that I put on a list. I only found one of them, and the one that I'm going to mention that I did find is this one right here, SPB Caramel. And this one, online, different people have said different things about what it might be inspired by. Apparently, a lot of people feel like it smells like Habdan by Parfums de Marly. I didn't really find that to be the case. In the opening, there is a good bit of spiciness like Habdan, but to my nose, Habdan remains spicy, and that's really what the fragrance is all about. There is some other sweet notes, but it is a powerfully spicy fragrance. Well, this one is also powerfully spicy in the opening, but it is really a gourmand. It's kind of a vanilla caramel gourmand with some nice spiciness in the opening. And so this one I was very impressed with, and it's got great performance. I'm talking about, I sprayed it on at around 8 o'clock last night, and after my shower this morning, so at about 8 o'clock this morning after my shower, it was definitely still a skin scent, but more than that, because I kept getting whiffs of it and thinking, I'm not wearing anything yet. And so I still had SPB Caramel on my arm. So this is a spicy gourmand based around vanilla and caramel. And I believe there is ginger and maybe black pepper. I'll put some of the notes on the screen because I forgot to look at them before I started recording. But this is definitely a fragrance well worth the, I think, $30 that I paid for it, $35 that I paid for it. Highly recommended. And I don't really have anything else that smells like it. You know, it's in the realm of other gourmands that I have. But again, it seems to be an original fragrance, and I really like that. Very cool and very impressive. These next 2, I'm going to go ahead and insert a little bit of my journey into Zara, just to kind of give you an idea of the experience of being there and testing them out, and I'll be right back in a few moments. Incredible selection. A lot of these are dupes of popular fragrances. They've got like a Sauvage-ish smelling fragrance. I think they've got one that smells like La Nuit de l'Homme, Y from Yves Saint Laurent. Ooh, I didn't see that one. I'm spending a bunch of money already, but I decided to go with these 3. Well, this one has been talked about as smelling like PDM Habdan. We shall see. These 2, one is supposed to be similar to Dior Homme Intense. The other one's similar to Dior Homme Parfum. Like I need another iris fragrance. Of course I do. So I'll be checking these out and giving you guys more thoughts on them. The one that a lot of people said smells like Habdan definitely smells good, but definitely sweeter than Habdan, not as spicy, but I could say inspired by. Pretty good. And the other one I sprayed on, I got one on each side. The one that's supposed to be something like Dior Homme Parfum Smells really good for sure, but similar to the other one, it's sweeter than Dior Homme Parfum. You don't expect the quality of a, $40 fragrance to match a whatever it is now, $160 fragrance. Really good stuff though. Really cool little place to pick up some inexpensive inspos. More thoughts later. So those were my initial thoughts. I had spent an hour or two with the fragrances. And so I've now actually had right about a week, about a day less than a week with these fragrances. And I have thoughts that differ from the ones that I just shared with you. So first, I think I'll talk about this one right here, Night Pour Homme 3. And their fragrances are all over the place. Tons of discontinued scents, tons that are on the website but not in the store, or in the store but not on the website. And it's hard to nail down even a good list for a lot of them, what they're inspired by. But with this one, a lot of people said either Dior Homme Intense or Dior Homme Parfum. But my honest opinion is this fragrance is a very, I would say, maybe masterfully or artistic blend of a couple different fragrances. So I'll show you what the bottle looks like. It's pretty cool. It looks like the Rich, Warm, Addictive bottle, which is a very popular Zara fragrance, one of their tobacco fragrances. But this one, here's the thing. In the opening, it smells very, very similar to Dior Homme Parfum. And I would say for about the first 30 minutes to an hour, it's in between Dior Homme Parfum and even Dior Homme Intense. There is a sweet lipsticky iris that is, it's 80% of the fragrance for that first hour. I mean, maybe it's 70%, but it's strong, and it's definitely that waxy fantasy iris note, just clear as a bell. But as it dries down, here's the crazy thing. It morphs significantly into, and this is just the clearest that I can describe it. An hour later, it does not smell like Dior Homme Intense. I have Dior Homme Intense. I've got, so I definitely, I've got some great clones of it as well. I've also got a really good clone of Dior Homme Parfum. So I'm very familiar with the DNAs, but I'm telling you, after about an hour, the iris morphs, and what it turns into is something that smells much more like Prada L'Homme. Now, I've never smelled Prada L'Homme Intense, and so I wonder if Prada L'Homme Intense starts out sweet lipsticky and then transitions into that more fresh, soapy iris. I will tell you that this does not become quite as soapy as Prada L'Homme. I'm not a big fan of soapy fragrances. I've said that many times on the channel. I just, I've got soap if I want to smell soapy. I want to smell, like a unique fragrance if I'm wearing a fragrance. So this one maintains a little bit of the sweetness of the Dior Homme Parfum, but it morphs into something that is much closer to Prada L'Homme in that it's a more of a fresh, clean, powdery iris. So I've never smelled Prada L'Homme Intense. I would love to hear from any of you who have, but I would say this is a very interesting fragrance, and I don't have anything quite like that just because, the original Prada L'Homme DNA I like. It's just a touch too soapy for me, and this one's probably 30% less soapy, and that's a big win. So if you find this one out and you like the two fragrances I'm talking about, either the Dior or the Prada, you're probably going to dig this, and it's impressive that they pull off that iris note with such quality for, I think, about $28. I mean, that's super impressive that they're able to do that at retail. That's not even a discounter price. All right, the next fragrance I got, this one, I feel like people online, some people online nailed it. Some people really missed it. And I think Zara has confused the crap out of people with this. I'm talking about this one, For Him Intense. Now, you hear that, Him Intense. Homme Intense basically means him intense, or, for men intense. And then you open up the box and you see the bottle on this thing, and tell me what they're trying to telegraph here. The bottle looks like this, and it says "For Him" Intense on the front. I think they're trying to say to you, hey, this is our interpretation of Dior Homme Intense. The problem is it doesn't smell like Dior Homme Intense. It smells about maybe 20%, 25% like Dior Homme Intense, but what it really, really smells like, and I think they did a really good job of making a fragrance that smells like this right here, Givenchy Gentleman EDP. It's very, very close to Givenchy Gentleman EDP. I would even say in the opening, it's like 90% similar to Gentleman EDP. And then as it dries down, I would say there's a little bit, there's about an hour in there where there are some Dior Homme Intense facets that come out. But Givenchy Gentleman EDP and Dior Homme Intense, they are similar, but they don't smell the same. You can definitely tell them apart if you have them. And this fragrance, it sort of dances between 80% Givenchy Gentleman, 20% Dior Homme, but in the opening it's Gentleman, and then after about an hour or two it's Gentleman. And I don't have a clone of just straight Givenchy Gentleman. I've got one of Reserve Privé, I've got one of Boisé, but so that's actually very cool, and I love Gentleman EDP. I think it's without question, one of the best iris fragrances ever made. And so this one, super cool, sweet iris fragrance. It's got that dark, rich vanilla iris, spicy kind of feel like Givenchy Gentleman. It's got the sweetness that Gentleman has above the Dior, although there is, some sort of cloudy wafts of Dior Homme Intense that are in there as well. So anyway, I am so glad that I got to go to a Zara. We were in Atlanta for a thing my wife was going to, and I got to hang out with some family and hit some malls. So very cool that I got to go to Zara. Let me know if there's a Zara near you. You should go and just smell some fragrances if you're nearby. They've got Bleu de Chanel dupes, and they've got, I think, Dior Sauvage. They've got a ton of designer fragrance dupes that are in the $20 to $30 price range. And then they've got some higher end stuff as well. So, oh, and the Aventus dupe, it is fire. If I didn't already have a dozen Aventus dupes, I would have picked it up. But, I walked out of there spending like $120 as it was. So anyway, check out these Zara fragrances. Highly recommended. And I see why people talk about them online. It's good juice. Thank you for watching. I'm Justin. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and give the video a like. This is Sillage Scents.